first time, if you are new, I'm about to make the most ultimate lactation cookies that you will ever find. We have so many good ingredients, lots of healthy fats and proteins and carbs that are going to be so nice for when after baby comes. A friend of mine made me these when I had my first, and I asked her for the recipe so fast because they are just so good. There's so many great things in them, and this is something that has been on my to-do before baby list for a while, and so I'm excited to get it done today. This video is going to be more about postpartum prep, things that I'm doing, things that I'm going to be packing in my hospital bag, things that I have purchased to make this transition and the postpartum recovery go as smoothly as possible. I want to be prepared, and I'm just going to take you guys along for a bit of the process, starting with these cookies. We have got oats, bananas, that's going to be kind of our base, and then all of our add-ins like pumpkin seeds, walnuts, apple butter, got some collagen, cinnamon, chocolate chips, of course, some sea salt, peanut butter, we'll need a little bit of coconut oil, maple syrup, and eggs. So what you're going to want for these cookies are 4 mashed bananas. You're going to mix that with the other wet ingredients, 1 cup of maple syrup, 1 cup of apple butter, which you can buy. I actually like to make mine at home in the slow cooker. You will add 2 cups of peanut butter. You could also use almond butter, and then about 7 eggs, and you will mix all of that together and then mix your dry ingredients in a separate bowl, which will be 5 cups of oats, 1 cup of pumpkin seeds. You could also use walnuts or a different kind of seed here, a cup of cranberries and chocolate chip mixture. So it's probably about a 1/2 cup of cranberries, 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. You could also substitute for raisins or just do chocolate chips, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, 2 or 3 scoops of collagen powder, and you will mix that together and then add it to the wet ingredients. Throw them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes, maybe try 20 minutes at first because they do burn quite quickly because of the sugars in them, but the end result should be a chewy, soft texture, but still firm. I'm really thankful that I held on to a lot of my postpartum materials from having Danny, because I was able to just grab a bunch of this stuff out of storage to use again. But I did have to stock up on a few new things. I definitely have some items that are tried and true from my first time around. And being a second-time mom, it is nice to know what worked for me the first time so that I can just make sure I'm prepared and have those items on hand. One of my absolute favorite things are these tuck pads. They are I think just a witch hazel pad that you can use after having baby, and they are so soothing. I used these a ton the first few weeks, as well as this, which I kept in this little bag, is this perennial spray. This is a great brand, the Earth Mama brand. I've used a few different things from them, and this thing is awesome. You can just spray it on as you're healing. I am planning for another vaginal birth this time around, so these things will hopefully come in handy, obviously, if you have a C-section or something that is different and a different healing process. But those 2 items were definitely a must-have for me, as well as adult diapers. As strange as it feels to buy disposable underwear or diapers for yourself, it's just necessary. So I have all of these from last time, which I will just reuse. The Frida Mom Perry bottle was also a must-have. I took this to the hospital with me. I will again. I will also share a hospital bag video. I think that will be something separate that I film, sharing everything that I'm packing to take to the hospital. Something else that I plan to do this time around is to make padsicles. I actually want to do that maybe today or tomorrow. I didn't make them with Danny, but a friend of mine had some extras for when she had her baby just in her freezer, so she gave them to me and they were awesome. So I do have some witch hazel that I grabbed, as well as aloe vera that I will use for those. And then I did get pads somewhere. Oh, actually, I have a bunch left over from my first birth that I will use. Something else I made sure to grab are nursing pads. I went through a good box of these. I know that you can also get reusable ones. I haven't used those. I know that these just worked well, so I just figured I would do the same thing again. With the reusable ones, I was worried that they just wouldn't get washed quick enough, and so having these I know will be really helpful. Something new that I'm trying is the Freedom Mom disposable underwear. I know I have the Depend ones, but I've just heard so many good things about this brand. So I will probably start off using these, even take these ones to the hospital with me, and then have those for backup. I also stocked up on breast milk storage bags. This is the Medela brand. This is what I used the first time around. They work really well. I like that they have like the ounce measurement on them. And then I did get some other pads that are just nice to have. These were from my first birth. Some thinner ones for later on down the road. And then even some of these ones that are kind of just like the thinnest of the thin. I will share a link down below to my Amazon storefront page where I have all of my postpartum favorites and things that were so helpful in those first few weeks. Just pulling out the last of our cookies. As you can see, they don't look exactly like a cookie. Here are some that have been cooling for a while. They're almost like a muffin consistency, the batter is, and they really just look like globs on the pan when you add them. And then as they bake, obviously they harden, but I would say they're almost more of a muffin or cakey texture. And I love that this recipe makes so many. I'm gonna put these into a couple different freezer bags so that they are ready to go. Well, it's a few days later and I had my ultrasound this morning, which I will share about in a bit, and then popped over to a couple different grocery stores to grab some different things that we needed. And I also picked up some things to pack in my hospital bag as far as snacks and beverages. I love these coconut waters and I had them so much when I was pregnant with Danny, especially because it was summertime, it was so hot, but I really haven't had them this time around. But I know that I will really enjoy having these in the hospital. So I think what I will do is I'll actually put them in the freezer, and then when the time comes, we can just pop them in our hospital bag, and then they'll kind of thaw out and we can have them at the hospital and they will be super cold and refreshing. And then I've been trying to think of some good snacks to bring with us. Last time I brought trail mix, which I will again, but I grabbed some dried apricots, which I love snacking on. I don't get them very often, so I think that these will be a good thing to have during labor with some sugars. And then I will also probably bring like some cheese, maybe some pepperoni sticks, maybe yogurt, apple slices, orange slices, things that are refreshing and will give some sugar boosts, but also have some substance to them, some fats and proteins. I am so thankful that my ultrasound went well this morning. The technician was so kind. I'm always really thankful when I have a kind ultrasound tech. It just makes such a difference. And it was actually super quick. I wasn't even in there for that long, but I got to see baby boy, which is always so special, but especially because he's so big now. Like, it's wild looking at the sonogram and seeing like it is a full-on baby in there. Of course, he's always been a baby, but now he's like a big baby and is getting very ready to come out soon. I am 36 weeks today, and I'm so thankful that everything looked good as far as the measurements. My midwife had told me that if anything popped up on the ultrasound, the tech, they would just send me like directly to labor and delivery. and they didn't do that, and she said that everything looked fine, so I'm very, very grateful. I wasn't concerned going into it, but it's just always nice to know that everything is looking good and healthy. And she did also confirm, I'm happy to report, that he is very much head down, and it was so kind of her to show me exactly where all of him is. And so I was right. I think I shared recently that I thought that his bum was like up high, and it is, and his back is down, and I got to see his little toes and even some hair on his head, which was so fun. So I'm very relieved to just have that done. It does make it seem a little bit more real, I think, just knowing that I'm 36 weeks today. I saw him. It just makes it like, okay, we gotta get ready for this baby because he is coming soon. And just because things aren't crazy enough already, we decided to start potty training Danny today. This morning we started, which just sounds wild, but honestly, I think it's really good timing. And so far it's going better than I anticipated, but it does mean that our home is just a disaster because all of our attention is on him and making sure that he is getting his potty breaks and all of that. So I think it is time for a nap time reset. I probably have about an hour left. Have myself an iced coffee. I have not been doing afternoon coffees at all, and I have been so tired. Yesterday I actually took a nap when Danny napped, which I also never do, and it definitely refreshed me. And I feel like even this morning waking up, I was more energized. And so I have felt some more energy today, and so I'm gonna take advantage of it while he is sleeping. I do have a list of other things that I am wanting to prep. I still want to put together like my postpartum care stuff in our bedroom. We also want to rearrange some things in our bedroom. I don't know if that will be this video or like my nesting vlog, I'm not sure. There's just random things like wash the infant car seat. I want to set up our Love Every mat. Still need to make my padsicles. And there are more meals that I want to prep, but I think those will be either next week or even the week after. Right now, we're gonna focus on the task at hand, which is getting this place under control.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy.
It is actually a few days later. We had a great weekend, just very restful. We were hosting a good amount, and so I didn't film anything this weekend because we were busy with that and just enjoying time as a family. But today is Monday, which is my kind of a reset, organized for the weekday. I have a grocery order that should be arriving any minute now, as well as some things I want to get done during this nap time block. One being just a good bedroom clean and tidy. We were actually up here yesterday rearranging like everything, all of the furniture in here, just to make it a little bit more conducive to having a newborn. So I just want to go through and just vacuum some areas that don't get vacuumed as often, dust, tidy up, and make the space feel really fresh. I know I will be spending a lot of time up here with a new baby, and so I just want it to feel really cozy, very clean, very put together. I also have a freezer dinner that I would like to put together. We'll see if we have enough time during this nap time. And I have a few other little things that are on my list, so we will see how much we get done today. Essentially nothing really on this side of the room changed, but we did move our dresser over to this wall. It used to be over here where the desk is now. The reason being, I think it will be really nice to set up a little change station and even have some of baby's clothing and like diapers and stuff in the drawers, which also meant we needed to move over our little love seat and chair situation. But I actually really love how this turned out. I think it kind of opens the room up. It still feels cozy, but I'm also realizing that the walls are so bare. I would love to add some more decor in here, but I'm just kind of at a loss of what to even add. This accordion shelf, I think I will move over here for the time being. And then this mirror, it always sits on our dresser, but we'll just leave it here by the desk for now. I need to tidy all of this up. Having things over here on my side will be really nice. I'm gonna put the bassinet here, I think. Then that way it's just a nice station for me getting up, getting baby, changing him.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed, deep and abiding. Liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and beyond your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
Well, hey friends, it is actually quite a bit later. It is, I think, about a week since I was last filming for this video. And I will get into a little bit more of an update and to why that is, but essentially everything was not okay with our ultrasound that we had done, and we got a phone call I think the next day after I was filming, and I will share a little bit of an update later on. I think I hear Danny, who just woke up from a nap, so I'm gonna get him. Hopefully I'll have a chance to sit down, but this morning I did manage to make some barbecue meatballs. Made them for dinner, but I made a double batch and I'm going to pop these in the freezer. I will try and share this recipe below because it's such a great one, and I like to serve it with rice and broccoli. And then as far as continuing with some postpartum prep, I still want to do the padsicles, and I also think I should put together a postpartum caddy for the bathroom, as well as some things to organize in our bedroom. It is about 2:30, so planning to spend the next couple of hours working on some of these things and hopefully just continue checking stuff off. Really, that's the last of postpartum prep I think that I have to do. My hospital bag is pretty much packed. I did that a couple days ago. So we are feeling a little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready. I'm gonna go get Danny and then get started on some of these things and bring you guys up to speed on a bit of what has been going on the last few days. Hey. So I'm basically just gonna squeeze some of this onto the pad along with some witch hazel, a couple drops of essential oil, wrap them back up and freeze them. Well, I'm just gonna put these into a grocery bag, pop them in the freezer. I do think I will make more. I think I only have about 12. I think I will want more than that. Super quick, very easy to do, but I know we'll have a big payout. So this is going to be my bathroom caddy for postpartum stuff. I have my Tux cooling pads, some of the Frida Mom disposable underwear, and then other disposable ones down there. I have these Herbal Sits baths. I don't think I really use these as much with Danny. I definitely want to do this more, as well as Epsom salt baths for just the recovery period. I think that will be really helpful and something I think I underestimated the first time around. Just a couple of extra pads. I should probably get more of those. And then these, I have 2 of these. They're the Frida Mom cooling pads. Honestly, I didn't really find them all that helpful, but I still have them, so I'll keep them in there. But I think the padsicles that I made will be a lot better. Okay, then over here on the dresser, I've just pulled out everything that I kind of want in this area. This bin is all baby stuff. I'm gonna deal with that a different day. But this caddy, I'm just gonna keep by my bedside and just gonna add things that I think will be super helpful. Something else that I will put into this caddy are also snacks for in the middle of the night or when I'm just hanging out up here with baby. These Heavenly Hunk oatmeal chocolate chip bars are so delicious from Costco. So I'm just gonna save this bag. I'm gonna hide it somewhere so that we don't eat it. We save it for after baby is here. I have a bunch of trail mix. I'm just gonna take some of these out to put in the caddy, and then some I will also throw into our hospital bags, as well as these cashew bars. I've got chocolate chip chia ones, and then some honey oat flax ones. So these are just gonna be a lifesaver, I know, for middle of the night, all the hunger when breastfeeding. Just taking a little break here to sit down and chat a little bit about what has been going on with our ultrasound. So essentially, as I mentioned earlier, we got a call from my midwife saying that there was a measurement on our baby's brain that was a little bit larger than normal. And so they were recommending that I go get another ultrasound done with a specialist at a hospital a little bit farther away. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details as to what it was and all the ins and outs of it, because I just don't think it's really necessary. I really just want to share to hopefully be an encouragement, because I feel like anytime you get a call like that, it just sends your mind into different questions, and it can be very worrying and just having this unsettled feeling. And it's just so funny to me because I had received this phone call, and literally the day before I had been listening to a podcast, and I will link it down below. It was really interesting. It was, they were talking about Psalm 121, which is a well-known psalm. It starts off, I lift my eyes up to the hills, where does my help come from? And that psalm has just been very prominent in my mind, I think, with becoming a mom, with going through my first pregnancy, and just having different fears. And that psalm was just something that the Holy Spirit has really used. And in this podcast, they were talking about how that psalm, one of the ladies had discovered that it was actually used historically by the Israelites, by the Hebrews, and midwives would sing it over the Hebrew women as they were giving birth. And that was just so interesting to me, because it has just been such a bedrock, if you will, throughout my motherhood journey. And it was even brought to mind a lot during my first pregnancy, especially towards the end, by a song that is written pretty much very closely word for word of the psalm. And I will share that song down below because it was truly just so helpful in that time. And so I had got this phone call, and immediately I'm just thinking about what I had heard yesterday and how the psalm talks about the Lord being the shade at your right hand. He will not let your foot stumble. He is just right there with us, and there's nothing that he doesn't know. He doesn't sleep. He doesn't slumber, he is aware of all of our needs and he watches over us. And so that was just so comforting in that time of not really knowing what was going on, not knowing if this could be a bigger issue, if there would be long-term effects of this for our baby. And so anyways, long story short, we went to the specialist and we got another ultrasound done, and based on what he saw, he said that he wasn't concerned. There is still like a little bit, the measurement is a little bit larger than normal, but it's not like a cause for concern necessarily. It shouldn't mean anything really significant. There's not a lot of like research as to why it might be that way, but apparently it's just something that can just go away. And so yeah, we're still hopeful and praying that that is the case, that it's just nothing and it doesn't really mean anything. But at the same time, this doctor was giving us some recommendations kind of as a precaution that made it like seem like it was a bigger deal than what he was originally saying. So it was just a little bit confusing, and we've just been trying to figure out, and I do have a couple more appointments, but it's like a lot of, I don't know, stress and like things to think about at the end of pregnancy. So I am truly trusting in the Lord to provide all that we need. I know that not everyone who watches my channel is a follower of Jesus, but for me, that is where I get my peace and my comfort and joy, is in knowing that God is watching over our family. He knows everything about this baby, even more than I don't know anything. I really don't know anything about him, but the Lord does, and he is watching over us. And so I can't say that I'm never feeling like worried or unsettled about it, but overall I can honestly say that I have felt just a peace, and especially reflecting on that psalm, listening to that song has been so helpful. So I hope that just sharing a little bit of that, of what's been going on, can be hopefully an encouragement to someone out there, another mom who's watching my channel. We are praying for a healthy baby and a healthy delivery, and would so appreciate your prayers as well for that. I will share that podcast that I mentioned as well as the song in the description box if that interests you, or maybe you are also expecting and would just like some encouragement, some refreshment for your soul. I will link that down below in the description box. Thank you for coming along with me over the last, I don't know, has it been a week? It feels like it's been a long time since I started this video, as I've just been getting some meals ready and getting some postpartum stuff prepped for when baby comes. I will also be sharing more nesting things, a couple things I'm still working on for baby in the nursery, organizing, cleaning, those sorts of things. So stick around for those videos as well, coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye.